quantum leap in the American standard of living. Let's go.
Past generations of Americans pursue.
Ooh, he's looking kind of dusty here, don't you think? Don't you think he's looking a little bit windswept? A little bit craggly? You don't think? A little? Maybe a bit?
Big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible. They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for
Just 3 years ago. Manifest Destiny was continuing up until 2021, where it stopped suddenly.
our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the land mass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 1/2 of 1%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals.
New cities? Why not just invest in the tens of thousands of existing cities? We already have. There are cities that have like 2,000 people. Why don't we just build out East Palestine? We can harness the radioactive, super fast growing crops that we've gotten with our special civilizational skill tree, Norfolk Southern Oopsie-daisy, and use our increased crop yield to finance a greater East Palestine. God willing, we'll build a West Palestine too.
For development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again.
Wait. Why do we need new city? We already have cities. We can. Why? What? Like, there are towns that just have a few thousand people. Here, right here, okay? This town is like Galena, I think, 10,000 people. Why not build out? Look at all the cool stuff here. We could build out from here. Why do we need new city? Why do we need to get rid of federal land? We already have. There's tons of towns like this all across America that were like influential back in the late 19th, early 20th century as like a midway point for people traveling between larger cities. But nowadays you can travel across the country in 6 hours, so that didn't last. We could reinvest in these cities and build like new stuff. He wants to build company towns. Yeah, that's the feeling that I get. We're talking about like charter towns here. What he's talking about is like cutting off like new slabs of America and like handing them over to cities or like weirdo narcissist planners so that they can build their own like little utopian dream. I think Adam something recently did a video on something like that. It's pretty weird. He means stupid shit like this. Yeah!
Phoenix, Arizona is a monument to man.
This is a fucking Adam something video. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is exactly the one that I was referring to, where it's like, yeah, dude, we've got a big city we want to build. We just need like $1 billion trillion in a desert to build it in, and stupid shit like that.
These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination.
No, how? What? What?
And give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big...
That's not how that works. You can't just like manufacture a city. Raise the volume. It's already at max. It's a weirdly quiet video. I'll turn it up in OBS. Cities like naturally build out based on economic need.
Big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution.
What? Flying cars?
In the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility.
Flying cars. We are not getting flying cars.
These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families and our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home.
Wow, that's crazy, dog. We're going to lower the cost of living exclusively by subsidizing the things that have made costs of living so high. The extremely low residential density is the reason that housing costs are so high, because we can't build more houses because everything has to be a fucking stretched up. This is literally like trying to put out a fire by subsidizing gasoline that you could pour in it to put out the fire. It's insane. What like Does Trump not understand what the Rust Belt is? Yeah, a lot. Like, Trump never really explained this, and obviously he never got anything done in this regard during his presidency. But the reason manufacturing jobs left America wasn't because of some, like, magically evil corporation decision-making. It was because we live in a system where corporations profit seek, and it's far more profitable to have a lot of this labor done in countries with worse labor laws. So there's no actual way to reinvigorate manufacturing in America without like either A, forcing corporate regulations with regards to like staying in the country and paying higher wages, which if that's the case, fucking fine, or B, having us all be paid slave wages. It's gone, steel's not coming back. No. The best chance that we had for reinvigorating American manufacturing was green energy. We could have been like the number one green energy, like wind farms, solar panel tech, everything, if we had like heavily invested in it. But we didn't. We chose not to. We just decided we're not going to get ahead of this. We're not going to invest. We're not going to subsidize. We're not going to get in on this.
And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great...
Can't you just put really heavy tariffs on imports to encourage local manufacturing? Sure, if you're okay with cars costing $40,000 at minimum. Can we still have a chance of being a green powerhouse country? Yeah, but it would require like a ton of work. The Trump breeding programs. Thinking about his fucking dusty ass face when you're busting one in.
Modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly...
Yeah, he wants to yassify American cities.
I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police. They will do the job the way they have to.
Hey, you know what leads to the most deaths in a city that could be prevented? Cars. Car deaths in Los Angeles, 2022. 312, the highest in 2 decades, as opposed to murders in Los Angeles, 2022. Oh, never mind, sorry. It's 382 murders to 304 car deaths. My bad. Murders are still higher. What we need to do is regulate men, okay? Because it's men who are getting in the car accidents and doing the murders. It should just be illegal to be a guy.
It is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. I will dramatically increase living standards and build a future that brings our country together through excitement, opportunity, and success.
Baby bonuses aren't a bad idea, though. No, they're a terrible idea. If you want people to have more children, construct economic environments where they're allowed to have more children. It's the problem is that like it's like solving problems from the top, and it is fash bullshit for sure. Or just take in immigrants. I don't fucking care. Hungary has been doing baby bonuses for 15 years and it never worked. Well, the God's honest truth, right, is that like the reason people aren't having kids isn't because they can't afford to. In America, wealthier families have fewer children than really poor ones. Super poor families in like the fucking hood or whatever. It's not like they're having 0 kids and then all like the wealthy people are having a fuck ton of kids or whatever. It's the opposite. And there are like really complicated reasons for that. And I think a lot of it has to do with order and support systems. Poor people tend to live in communities with tight relationships with their family, with their friends, with their neighbors. Wealthy people don't. They live relatively alienating lives. Wealthy people might have the money for children, but they don't really have the time or the support for children, If you're wealthy and you work like a job and you're a 2-income household, you and your partner both work a job, like kids, they take so much time and energy, and you have very little to go off of there. And a lot of the stuff you can get is really expensive too. I don't know. I feel like a lot of this would be solved with a less alienating attitude towards childbirth and towards child rearing.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Got it. Nice. In Hungary, you get money for buying a home after 3 kids. All it did was raise the price of homes. Well, it's not a very capitalist solution, right? I thought people who believed in capitalism were supposed to understand that if you want to produce outsized like market effects, if you want to change something in the system, it's not enough to have a government bill that just like slaps money down here or there. You need to like work at the underlying incentive structures. And I agree with that. That's one of the reasons that I'm generally pretty skeptical of UBIs. That was just a bunch of nonsense. It's the Republican platform.